It has been one crazy, confusing season for Canucks winger Brock Boeser, but you know what would make it better? If you reunited him with Elias Pettersson. We're going to tell you why the Canucks should reunite Boeser and PD today on Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, Canucks writer and part-time credentialed media member for Daily Hive Vancouver. And before we get into today's show, we want to thank you for listening to Locked On Canucks, your team every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, where the best way you can help us grow is to listen every day and subscribe. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, the dude who's had a rough week, but he's still here, Kyle Bowen. How you doing, buddy?
Rough week, but I just got a haircut, so life's better, man. I feel as if I went from a 6.5 to a 7.3, and it's always great when you improve. For real. Now, again, it's not a Kyle Bowen show, it's a Canucks show. It's also a fan-first show. We'll get to the comments at the end of the program because we save the best for last. But yeah, let's talk about Brock Boeser, man. For real, man. Look at Trevor Beggs right here, man. A couple weeks ago where, we got to get this guy out of here. Yeah, new start. Do your thing. And now this guy wants to pair him up with the franchise player, EP40. Oh, what's going on, Beggsy?
Yeah, I think it was our first episode of Locked On Canucks was kind of unpacking all the Penguins and Canucks rumors and why we thought, Boeser might be the target and not Miller. And I actually think the headline of that episode on our photo was "The Pens Want Brock."
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, here we are a couple weeks later. And I'm saying the Brock Boeser and Elias Pettersson. So I was doing a story today about Brock Boeser on Daily Hive, and I was kind of digging into his numbers under Talkit. It has been an atrocious season defensively for Boeser, but he's been putting up points. I mean, he's got 18 points in his last 20 games. He's actually at even strength. He has 2.38 points per 60. That is the highest mark of his career, which is honestly kind of dumbfounded me. I was really surprised to see that. So the point totals have been there, but it does feel a bit empty calorie. Like we just haven't seen the best of Brock Boeser this season.
Wow.
And that being said, the main player that he's played with through most of the season is JT Miller. And here's a stat that kind of rocked me as well. While playing with JT Miller, Boeser has an expected goals differential of 37.6%. So
what does that mean, bro? Come on, man. You got to break it down into English for me, okay? Come on. I'm still 7 years late to the fancy stat era of hockey, okay? Well, what does that mean?
So expected goals is really just a measure of, scoring chances on the ice and how many chances are being generated while players on the ice versus how many chances are being created by the other team while the players on the ice. So it's one of the reasons why Boeser's metrics have been horrible this season. But yeah, with Miller on the ice, basically the Canucks have been getting cratered at even strength. It has not been working out at all. And again, he's spent most of the season with Miller. Recently, under Talkit, he spent most of his time with Miller. And when he's not with Miller, he's been with Sheldon Dries. With Sheldon Dries, his expected goals differential is 33%. So basically, Boeser is not doing much well on the ice when he's playing with Boeser or Miller. Actually, this season, the only player who Boeser has a positive expected goals differential with is Elias Pettersson. And I got to say, Boeser is one of the highest paid forwards on this team. The expectation is that he should be a first-line forward, and there was all that talk in the early days about Boeser and Pettersson, and the future is here. And it seems like the Canucks have lost that. Boeser and Pettersson have barely played together. It's been Kuzmenko getting those opportunities.
And rightfully so. Rightfully so, man. Rightfully so. And I think that's the again, I'm sure players can move around, and maybe you can have both those players play alongside Elias Pettersson, but I truly do believe that Kuzmenko is just always going to be that guy now for Pettersson. And I want to say it's because of Kuzmenko's smarts, but you just brought up a whole bunch of Brock Boeser stats, and him actually putting those physical points on the table outside of, not doing the best when it comes to the data. It just goes to show how, ironically, he's so smart at the game. He can, even when it seems a little empty, he's able to be put into positions and put himself into positions where, again, he's going to put points in or get be on the ice for goals for, and there's a good chance that he touched the puck before it went in. He's just that type of guy, and he's always been that type of guy. He reads the game super well. But again, Kuzmenko's just in the way right now, and I don't really see this ever being a thing again. Boeser and Pettersson.
But here's
I
the
really
thing:
don't.
Kuzmenko's a left winger and Besser's a right winger. And what was Besser's biggest calling card during his first few NHL seasons was his shot. And if you put him with Pettersson and Kuzmenko, you're going to put him with two really good puck distributors.
But come
Like, to
on,
me,
man.
it just makes a ton of sense.
Come on,
Like,
bro.
Anthony Beauvillier
There you go. That's the guy, bro. Pettersson and Kuzmenko are better when they have a guy like that playing with them. I'm not saying it's always going to be Beauvillier, but I want to see this moving forward where that third guy on that line is that hustler who's also got a skill set that can generate chances when he's on the ice. And Beauvillier, I'm not saying he's like Zach Hyman-esque, but he kind of fits that mold when he's alongside star talent, and he's been playing well, and I really, really mess with that, and I don't want to see that change at all.
I mean, I think this is the time for experimentation. I completely disagree with that. Anthony Beauvillier comes in, and sure, he might fit the mold of what you want beside Pettersson, but this is meaningless hockey right now. Who cares if the Canucks win or lose games? I mean, I just want to see Boeser back with Pettersson. They obviously had insanely good chemistry early on in their NHL careers, and I'd just be really curious to see what Boeser does on a stretch of games with Kuzmenko and Pettersson. So I think that's the best way to utilize Boeser. I'd be curious to see him get that opportunity, and I think he deserves it. I mean, again, there's enough of a track record between Boeser and Pettersson that this should be a successful duo at the NHL level and a first line caliber duo.
Yeah.
I remember writing an article for Nucks Misconduct, and I think it was like 2019, and it was talking about the best center winger duos in the NHL, and I had Pettersson and Boeser on that list. So it's crazy how times have changed, man. But I kind of tell you maybe a lineup that I want to see going forward, maybe over the next few games. But I want to see Boeser on that first line with Pettersson and Kuzmenko. I want to see Podkolzin play with JT Miller. I think Podkolzin has been playing really well. The last few games hasn't been getting much of an opportunity. But how about a line of JT Miller, Podkolzin, and Anthony Beauvillier? Just kind of like a grind, forechecking line with obviously some talent as well.
Yeah, a lot of talent. Trevor, do you think that there's a little bit of pressure coming from the top to make more use out of Anthony Beauvillier since the Canucks did trade that first-round pick, that asset that they got from Horvat? And, there's still a chance that Ratu does not turn into an NHLer, whereas you still have this guy named Beauvillier who's, still relatively, young. He's not, super young, but he's in the middle there, and he's talented, and he's doing things. And I wonder if the Canucks view him as more of just a throw-in, just a throw-in to make the numbers work. If they actually view him as a core piece of this team. And, again, is there pressure to keep him on the line with Pettersson? I feel as if he has an easier contract to move to if they want to go down the trade route, so pad that guy's stats up. I wonder if that's happening. And again, I'll say it for the fifth or sixth time. I want to continue to see Beauvillier on that line because there's something about his hustle that it just I think it matches Pettersson's work ethic, and it allows Kuzmenko to be Kuzmenko more often, and I just love the mix. I love the mix. Maybe it's because back in the day when I played ball hockey, I was that guy. Dude, trust me, man. I put up numbers, man, playing with the best players on the team because I was probably the 7th or 8th most talented person on the team, but I just fit that role to play with the two other guys and make it work. And sometimes you need that guy, okay? I'm a Beauvillier fan, all right?
Yeah, maybe let us know in the comments who you want to see play with Pettersson to Kuzmenko. Would it be Boeser? Would it be Beauvillier? Or are you thinking maybe someone else in the roster? Mm-hmm. I will say if the Canucks are prioritizing, getting Beauvillier a bigger opportunity because of the trade and because of what they gave up, I think that's dumb. Mm-hmm. If anything, it would do them better to have Brock Boeser playing in a prime role and rehabilitate his value. Maybe at that point you could at least trade him because right now he's got pretty much negative trade value based on that contract. So to me, that doesn't make a lot of sense, man.
It's one of those things, man. I think Pettersson's playing at a level and he's going to continue to improve where you could put anyone. Anyone can be the third guy, especially if Kuzmenko's the other guy, and that line will work to some degree because he's just that great at playing hockey. He's such a driver, And Pettersson, man, Pettersson's definitely going to be one of those guys who's going to get a lot of guys paid, for real.
Yeah. I will say, though, it's just Again, it's just time for Boeser and Pettersson to reunite. It's been a long time. He's barely played with Pettersson this season. Things have not been working well with JT Miller. I know Boeser set up JT Miller for a goal in garbage time against the Stars the other night, but I think it's time to shake things up and see what Boeser can do with Elias Pettersson. And Kyle, in segment 2 today, we're going to talk about a couple other things one thing that doesn't make sense, which is the Coyotes. Well, the Coyotes' existence in general, but mainly them playing at a 5,000 seat arena at Mullett Arena. So in segment 2, I want to go through 13 arenas in British Columbia that have more capacity than Mullett Arena. But before we do that, we need to tell you that the midway point of the NBA season is here. And now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win.
Hey, Trevor, what would you do with $1,000 right now? What would you do? What's the first thing you would do with $1,000? Because
my answer's gonna be boring, dude. I work in finance, so I'd say invest. But honestly, man, me and Hannah are trying to buy a second car. Okay, we're trying to buy a second car.
Okay,
family's growing, so it would be towards a new car.
Mine would be towards some credit card bills, and then I would use the rest for groceries. Dude, the other day it was $10 for a pack of bell peppers, man. $11 for 3 bell peppers.
Yeah, that's.
I need to win some money. Man. I need to win some money off of FanDuel. If you're listening to this, sign up for FanDuel, okay? Just make an account, and I'm sending you blessings. You're gonna win your next bet. Continue, Trevor.
Yeah, on FanDuel, you can bet on everything in terms of the NBA, from the money line to point scores to threes drained. Kyle, I don't know if you heard about Damian Lillard.
Mm-hmm.
He went on a podcast recently and was kind of hinting about how he doesn't like the way the NBA is going, and now people are thinking if he's going to retire or not. Like, my Portland Trail Blazers are already in a pretty sad position as it is, and it would only be sadder if Damian Lillard retired. So I'm not sure if there's props on FanDuel where you can bet on Damian Lillard retiring, but the only way to find out is to go on FanDuel and check.
Yes.
And, hey, if you're on FanDuel, you can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with same-game parlays. So don't miss the chance to get your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Win something with FanDuel. For real, for real, for real. I'm excited for your future. Again, if you're betting on sports, something good is coming your way. Just do so responsibly.
Do so responsibly. And speaking of responsibility, it's just not responsible to have the Arizona Coyotes in Arizona.
Whoa.
Doesn't make sense. Hasn't made sense for a long time.
Be careful here, buddy. Be careful here, all right? You're going after an NHL franchise. They got, 3,400 fans probably, and they're going to come after you, man, for real. They're going to come after you. Be careful. You got a family now. You're needed. You're needed.
I'm telling you, Arizona Coyotes fans, come at me, man. Come at me. Don't come after my family. That's a little low, but come at me, man. Come at me. So I kind of just started thinking about this. Today, the Canucks and the Coyotes are playing. It's the first time the Canucks will be playing in the 5,000-seat Mullett Arena. So I just was kind of thinking in my head, how many arenas in Vancouver have a bigger capacity than Mullett Arena? And according to ourlist.io, there's 13 of them. So let me list them off. So first is obviously Rogers Arena. Second is the Pacific Coliseum, which is the former home of the Vancouver Canucks. The third is the Save-On Food Center, home of the Victoria Royals, 9,000 seats. Number 4, Abbotsford Center, 8,500 seats, home of your Abbotsford Canucks. Number 5, Prospera Place in Kelowna, 8,000 seats, home of the Kelowna Rockets. Number 6, Prince George, man. There's like 10,000 people live in Prince George, and they have a 7,000-seat arena, the CN Center. Number 7 is the Doug Mitchell Thunderbird Sports Arena at good old UBC in Vancouver. Number 8, the South Okanagan Events Center in Penticton. Number 9, the Sandman Center in Kamloops. Number 10, the Chilliwack Coliseum. Like the Fraser Valley itself has multiple arenas with bigger capacity than Mullett Arena. I'm telling you, man, this frickin' NHL, man, what a joke.
Whoa. Boom, boom.
All right, 3 more to go. Cranbrook with the Western Financial Place with 6,000 people has more capacity than Mullett Arena. Cal Tire Place in Vernon has 5,600 capacity. And finally, the Langley Event Center, home of the Vancouver Giants, has 5,276 seats. and that is all 13 arenas in British Columbia that have more capacity than frickin' Mullett Arena.
Yeah, it's
Gary Bettman, man. Thank you, Gary Bettman. Thank you.
Yeah, Gary Bettman loves the Coyotes. Like, has the biggest passion. It's just that. It feels like it's just a passion project for him, for real, to make this thing work. And I'm sure there's complex issues that kind of get in the way of, more happening for Arizona. But at the end of the day, it has gotten to this point. You know what I'm saying? And prior to this, there were so many instances where they almost left. So it's been bad for a very, very long time. It's not a good look for the NHL. That being said, I'm not going to front, bro. I'm not going to front. Would I like to visit and watch an NHL game in that small arena? It would feel off, but I think there's a good chance it could be kind of intimate, and it would work out to be somewhat of an experience. Like, imagine this, right? We're in the area, Scottsdale. Let's say down the road, they're still there, and whatever. It's my 31st birthday party, 30th birthday party. Let's go. Let's go to Arizona. Boom, bam. I guess that wouldn't be the case for me because my birthday's in May, and Arizona would have to be in the playoffs. Let's take it back, okay? Sometime in February, you and I going to Arizona. We're partying it up, being responsible, doing our thing, getting a little messed up, and then we just have a night out at Mullett Arena. You don't think that would be fun? You don't think that would be fun?
It
would be crazy. It would be it'd be different.
Just because we'd have fun there, though, Kyle, doesn't mean it should be there. You know what I mean?
Of course. It's a sad look.
I would love to go see a game there with you.
Me too.
That'd be awesome. But this shouldn't be happening. It's a freaking joke.
It's the NHL. It's the NHL, man. It's the NHL, and this is the better question, Trevor. This is the best question that's ever been asked on this program because it would generate so much emotion. What would you do if Arizona won a Stanley Cup before your Vancouver Canucks? Just go ahead and swear if you want, bro. I'll bleep it out. What would you do?
I think I would crawl in a hole and just hang out there for a couple days.
Dude, I'd stop watching hockey altogether.
I was thinking of saying that, but it's probably not true. I'd probably still keep watching hockey.
Dude, I'd be so sad. Again, could you just imagine? They're still playing in Mullett Arena. It's Game 6, 2025. Conor Bedard, his second year in the league. He wins a Stanley Cup, and he's just raising that thing in front of 4,700. It's not even sold out. It's not even sold out at Mullett Arena, okay? And he's doing that. Oh, my God, bro. That would be the most gross thing ever, especially if Conor Bedard was the reason why there's a cup ceremony in the middle of Mullett Arena. Oh, my. Dude, my goodness gracious.
This is too sad to think about, man. Let's get to the next segment, man.
My God,
let's get to people trashing me. I heard there's some comments where people weren't happy with me, so I'd rather talk to people trashing me.
Oh, my God, bro. If that ever happened, bro, Dude, honestly, bro, I would stop podcasting. I'd stop trying to make a career in the world of entertainment. I'd, work hard in the oil fields. I'd save up all my money. I'd go to you for some financial advice. I'd just grow my money, and in 30 years, I will go to Francesco Aquilini. I will buy the team $3 billion over his asking price, and I'll do something. But I'll be on a mission. I'll be on a mission because that would be, again, the most devastating thing to my fandom of sports if the Arizona Coyotes won a Stanley Cup courtesy of Conor Bedard and they were celebrating in the middle of a...
Yeah, I'm done with the segment,
Oh, my
man.
God.
I'm
Okay,
done.
let's
This
get
is
out of here.
ridiculous.
All right,
Okay,
cool.
All right,
cool.
Comment corner coming up next.
For sure. Okay, you're back on Locked On Canucks. I'm loving life. The sun is shining. Got a haircut. Trevor Beggs with me. And again, we're nowhere without the fans. For real, we're nowhere without the comments. Less comments over the last couple of episodes. But hey, it is what it is. We got a couple more subscribers. And if you're watching this and you're one of those new subscribers, I love you. I don't know about Trevor, but I love you. Kyle Bowen does love you. And Trevor,
I also love you.
Trevor,
I also love you.
Yeah. Trevor, you're getting it. For episodes and episodes and episodes, I was the reason why fans were leaving the show because of my voice. Right? But right now, your opinions are losing people. Yesterday, you said you'd rather have Miro Heiskanen over Quinn Hughes. And this dude, Cash McGregor, said Quinn Hughes all day. He's on a 27th place team, and he's the fastest defenseman to 300 assists in league history. Trevor, can you read that part again?
Fastest defenseman to...
Yeah, exactly.
He meant 200. He meant 200, but that's okay.
Faster than Orr, Zubov, Coffey, and all the winning teams. Oh, he got the stat wrong? Yeah.
Yeah, he was the fastest defenseman at 200.
Okay.
So that's okay. That's okay.
And
hey man, that's why
he called you a chump. He said shame on you, but I think he meant to say you're a goof.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad we had that conversation yesterday because I thought it was an interesting debate to have. Hughes or Heiskanen. I stand by what I said. I'd probably still rather have Miro Heiskanen on my team, but
okay. You know what? I'm gonna reread this. Okay, fastest defenseman to 200 assists in league history over Bobby Orr. I'm not even gonna give the rest of the names. Bobby Orr? Are you serious? Are you serious? And you're picking someone else. That's something else, man. That is embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourself. This city needs a jolt. It needs more positivity when it comes to the hockey team. And here's Quinn Hughes breaking records, doing things that no other Canucks defenseman has ever done. Hey, doing things that no other NHL defenseman has ever done. And here you are picking another guy who plays for the Dallas Stars over Quinn Hughes. That is incredible, man. Incredible. It makes sense because, again, we're talking about Trevor Beggs giving this statement, right? Part-time journalist for the Vancouver Canucks. Full-time goof, maybe. I don't know. I didn't say it. Cash McGregor said it, okay? For real.
Oh, we love you, Cash. Thanks for listening to Locked On Canucks. Bobby Orr, man, I'm just looking at his stats right now. It was really his fourth season in the league where he really broke out offensively. So 41 points in 61 games in year 1, 31 and 46 in year 2, 64 points in 67 games in year 3. And then in his fourth season in the NHL, this mofo had 33 goals and 87 assists and 120 points.
Yeah.
And it was the first of 6 straight seasons where he had over 100 points. Just an unreal career by Bobby Orr. So
yeah, you probably think John Michael. Go ahead.
It's probably safe to say that he didn't quite light the NHL on fire, maybe as quickly as Hughes did. But man, once Orr hit his peak, holy heck, there was no stopping this guy. Unbelievable.
I used to have a math teacher. Shout out to Mr. McNichol. MC Nickel was his name, and he was in love with Bobby Orr. And you said all those stats about Bobby Orr, and I would not be surprised if you believe John Michael Lyles was a better defenseman than Bobby Orr.
No, maybe Ian White, not John Michael Lyles, though. He's not quite as good as Ian White.
Yeah. Ian White's a big part of Canucks history because he was a part of that beautiful goal from Henrik and Daniel during that game against Calgary all those years ago. Yep. A goal it's a damn shame. I'm glad we're ending on this note, today's episode, because it's a damn shame that goal that Henrik and Daniel scored against Calgary way back when, I think it was 2010, it's a damn shame that highlight is not shown more. The between the leg goal, you know what I'm saying? That goal,
100%. Yeah, that's an amazing goal, and it was a big goal too, right? It was what? Oh my God, which twin won the Art Ross? I think it was Henrik won the Art Ross because of that, right? Yeah,
I think he got to 112 points that.
Yeah.
That
exactly.
Game. And just get 112 points in that era, not bad. For real, man. For real.
Speaking of which, I will say, maybe to end the show, that Pettersson does have an outside chance of hitting that. I wrote about this maybe a week or two ago. And when I wrote about it, he was on pace for 107 points. So not quite there, but someone to watch for over the last 16 games. I mean, Pettersson, prior to the game against Dallas, had 28 points in 19 games. So watch out, Henrik. Maybe Pettersson will get it this year. We'll see. Yeah, maybe he will. Maybe he will. And I think he has a better chance to do that if Beauvillier is on his line over. No. Put Brock Boeser on his line, and this guy's hitting 115 points. That's a lock. That's a lock here on Locked On Canucks. And we want to thank you for listening to Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Now make your second listen game to game. Locked On NHL. Every moment, every performance, every result. Locked On Game to Game covers every game from across Locked On NHL with local analysis that only Locked On can deliver. Follow Game to Game on Locked On NHL. Available on the Odyssey app and YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Trevor Beggs, he's Kyle Bowen, and we thank you and appreciate you for listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.